Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video we are going to repair this Bluetooth speaker. The issue with this speaker is the fact that the micro USB connector from down here was ripped off the board, and I've already found it inside here. Let me try to get it. So this connector was ripped out of the board and we'll have to replace it with something else. So what I'm going to attempt is to replace the micro USB connector with a USB Type-C one, like this one here. This can be bought very cheaply from China. And I also have to enlarge this hole here in order to fit this new connector. So first I'll disassemble the board from the housing, and then we'll see what we are going to do next. So let's start by removing the board or the screws of this board. Okay, the screws are out. Let me put them somewhere where I can find them later on. And then let's remove this board from here. So I have to remember where each wire goes. So battery is at the top. This lighting ring here is middle, and speaker at the bottom. Okay, so I'll get out all these connectors from here. I don't like how they are actually coming out. So okay, one is out, second one is out, and last one is also out. Okay, let's get this out of the way and let's try to figure this out. Okay, so first things first, we'll have to find out which pin is ground and which one is 5 volts in order to figure if this board is actually working properly. So let's take a multimeter and let's take some measurements. Okay. Okay, meter in dial mode, and this one should be ground here. We should get some readings in other places as well, but this is what I'm mainly interested in. And this one should be 5 volts. Okay, so this one, I think any of these grounds are ground. Okay, so let me grab something to mark them up. Actually, it's quite easy to see which one is which. Okay, so next I'm going to try to connect this one using some wires, or actually even better, maybe I can use the probes of the multimeter to try to power this thing on. So I will do something like this. I will take power from the LED, from the bench power supply, and it is already at 5 volts, and I'll try to power the board on to see if we get some kind of light. So okay, so as you can probably see, we are seeing some light here on the back. Let me try to flip it the other way. So as you can see, the board is working. So what I'm going to do next is solder some wires to this little guy here, and maybe I will try first to fix the hole inside the case. Not really sure. We'll see. So I'll start with the wires first. So will increase the voltage on the power supply to have more voltage for the soldering iron. Okay. And I will use this Pinecil power soldering iron. Okay. Let's preheat, and I'll use some of these wires I will try to keep them short, but not really short, since I will try to fit everything inside nicely. So I'm going to cut them to the same length. Okay. Let's take a board holder like this. Okay, let's lower the temp on this soldering iron. It is way too high at a few 400 C, way too high. Okay, so first things first, let's add some fresh solder to these pins. Okay, and this one as well. Okay. Fresh solder seems they're bridged together. Okay. And now let's try to solder these wires in place. So, yeah. Or maybe I should solder first on the connector. It will be easier later on, since the connector is way smaller. So yeah, I'll do that first. Okay, these wires look just fine. Let's put some solder in on this connector as well. Okay. This one is just fine. Let's put a second one in as well. And then we'll solder everything back to the original board. I want to solder the red wire a little bit better, so I'll do that now. I should use some flux, but I don't want to reach it for it right now. Okay, let's try to thin these wires a little bit. Maybe it will help to get a better job on the pins on the board. Okay, so everything is in place. As I've said, the ones on here should be the ground. So let's solder those first. Or actually, maybe I should go with the wires on the other way around and then I'll simply flip the connector like this, so I get like a better angle when trying to fit everything back together. So let's do that. I should actually use some flux here. I don't like how everything is working right now. 1 second. Okay, that is fine. And let's put these wires in place. Okay, that one is fine. Let's put a second one as well. Okay, everything seems to sit properly, and now let's actually test this thing out to see if it actually works. So yeah, it seems like it does. Now I'll try to unplug this carefully. Okay, like so, and I've already broke a wire, so yeah, I have to solder that one again. So I'll go straight to that. But now it will be harder to solder because oh, it seems like these wires did not solder properly. Okay, I'll thin them better and I'll use more flux to get a better connection on these, since they don't really seem to like being soldered like so. So let's try them out. This one is okay. Now I can see the solder on that one. Let's do the same here. On the other side, it seems like it is holding properly. Okay. And let's put some solder here as well. Okay, that should do it. Okay, let's get back to it. I took a little break to free up some space on the camera. So yeah, let's solder this wire here a little bit better, or maybe I should get this one soldered first. Okay, seems like now it has a better connection, or not. This one, I'll apply flux to it once again. Not my best day for soldering. Okay. Okay, that should do it. I solder this part first and then the other side as well. Okay, I definitely need more flux there, and to clean out this tip. So let's get some flux there. That should do it. You can never use too much flux, only too little. Maybe I should use some tweezers here, but I'll try first like so. Now it seems it is staying on properly, and this side as well. That's why I wanted to solder the other side first, because now it is harder to solder this wire properly. So let's try once again. Okay, that should do it. Okay, looks good. So what I'm going to do next is actually clean up a little bit here. So I'll use some alcohol and try to get the flux out of there, and maybe I'll try to apply some solder mask. Okay, that looks fine. So let me check if I have everything working. Okay. So there is a UV flashlight and the mask is right here. So I'll try to get as little as possible out of this tube. I hope I don't mess it up. Okay, that should do it. Only a little bit. I'll get a little bit more here. Since at the end I'm planning to use some hot glue to secure everything in place, so I don't really care that much about these ground pads, but as I will fold the connector over this area, I don't want to make a short here. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, it looks fine. I'll put everything back together. Okay, and let's make this solder mask harden. It should be pretty hard in a few moments. Okay, let's see if it seems like it is already. It is mostly okay, so yeah. A few more seconds and that should do it. Okay, so there's that. Next I'm going to try to enlarge the hole on the case itself, so I can squeeze that connector in. So I'll do that. It is not this part, the other one. So yeah, let's get that one back here. So yeah, something like that. And let's try to make this hole a little bit larger here. So let's see what we have available to do that. First, let me try to see how. So I need only a little bit of additional distance here. So let's get to it. how this fits now. It should be a little bit loose since the female connector is a little bit larger, so let's try that one as well. Because this one will come from the other side, so I want a tight fit for this one. So I'll have just a little bit more to enlarge this hole, so yeah. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's try right now to see if we're okay. Almost there. Only a little bit more to go. Okay, so let's get back to it. Okay, let's test once again. So this should do it, since if I'm going to have this tight fit, the cable should go in very easily. So let's see how that would look like. Something like this, so yeah, that is fine. Okay, so let's go back to it. Now let's try to fit everything inside and see how that goes. I will have to get the motherboard back here. Okay. And then I'll have to put all these connectors back in. So first things first, let's reassemble everything. If I remember correctly, this connector something like this. This one was here. And lastly, this one was right here. Okay, so it seems everything is back in place. But now let's see how we are going to fit this connector into that hole right there. So I'll flip it like so. I hope the wires won't come loose. And then I will push everything back in there. Or maybe I'll just do something like this. Let's try to use this thing to put everything back together. I hope I don't crush anything. We'll try to get a good grip on this thing before trying to slide it in. And it's always the most precise tool you have. Something like so, but I'll have to see how can I get it with both sides in. Yeah, this one is not really working, so I'll enlarge the hole a little bit more in order to make room for this. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's see if we have more success right now. Okay. I've managed to put that little board in, but now I'll have to actually slide the other board in as well. So yeah, let's do that without breaking any wires. I've almost powered this thing on, so yeah. Okay, that should actually do it. Okay, that one is working. Just a little bit more, and sliding it back is not an option right now. Maybe in a future version I'll make this thing flat. But for now, this should do it. Yeah, I won't bother anymore. So let's try to get everything back together. Or can I actually? That would be great, but I'll have to see if I didn't mess it up. So yeah, let's. It seems like it is charging, so yeah, as you can see here. And it is also flat here. So it looks just great, as you can see. Okay, let's put everything back together and let's end the video right here. So yeah. So I'll come up with everything after I'll reassemble the speaker. So this is the end of the video. I wanted to show you how this speaker actually looks like. So as you can see, it is quite a sparkly one, so to speak. So yeah, it seems like it has some kind of lights on it, and of course this is the USB-C connector that we've installed. So let's test it out to see if we get a red charging light. So as you can see, we do get this charging light. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. Goodbye.